What if I told you about a festival when people paint penis on their house? Yeah, you heard me. People worship penises in Bhutan. Pretty crazy, right? Most of the penises painted on houses or suspended from rooftops in Bhutan are larger than humans. Imagine being a tourist, hiking through Bhutan's peaceful villages, and suddenly coming face to face with a mural that makes you question everything you learned in art class. Do you laugh? Do you look away? Do you try to act like you're totally cool with a 6 foot tall winged phallus staring at you? Look, guys, I've always been fascinated by Bhutan. I mean, where else do you find a country that measures progress by gross national happiness instead of GDP like everyone else? It's mind blowing. And then there's the fact that Bhutan is the only carbon negative country in the world. They absorb more carbon dioxide than they produce. Can you believe that? Oh, and get this, they don't even have traffic lights. Not one. Until the 1960s, they didn't even have roads, and they only got the internet in 1999. It's like stepping into a completely different timeline, right? I can't help but wonder, how does a place with so many unique quirks and traditions come up with something like that? It's wild, isn't it? The root of this tradition goes back to Drukpa Kunli, a revered 15th century Buddhist saint known as the Divine Madman. Renowned for his unorthodox teachings and unconventional methods of spreading Buddhism, he used humor and symbolism, including the phallus, to convey profound spiritual messages. Kunli wasn't your typical monk. Instead of sticking to strict traditions, he used shock value to spread Buddhist teachings. We're talking about bold, crass, and outrageous methods. He'd mock societal norms, strip down naked, and even sleep with multiple women. Today, his influence lives on in Bhutan through the iconic phallic paintings and idols you see everywhere. Next, we have Japan, the land of vending machines that sell everything, toilets that have more buttons than a spaceship, and people who can somehow nap standing up on the subway without missing their stop. If there's one thing the world knows about Japan, it's that they have a knack for turning literally anything into a festival. Cherry blossoms? Festival. Fireworks? Festival. Penis? You guessed it. Festival. So, we have the Penis Festival Japan, a festival where size matters. By now, I am sure you are thinking there has to be one hell of a story behind this bizarre festival. According to my research, a demon who fell in love with a woman and hid inside her vagina, biting off her newlywed husband's penis twice. She then sought help from a blacksmith who made her a metal phallus. It broke the demon's teeth and sent him off for good. If this sounds like the inspiration behind the 2007 film Teeth, you're not half wrong. They then later enshrined it in Kanamara Shrine as a sort of commemoration. There's also another colorful story behind it. It is believed that sex workers came to the festival to pray for protection against sexually transmitted diseases. Fast forward to today, the festival is known as an event that fights against HIV, and all proceeds from the Kanamara Festival are donated to HIV research. Anyways, back to the festival. The festival's centerpiece is the parade of phallus-shaped shrines, including a large, meter-long shrine carried by multiple people. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can even ride one to the shrine. If that gets you hungry, you can enjoy the traditional festival trimmings around the area. I mean, come on, where else can you get lollipops in the shape of the male genitalia? Vendors around the area sell snacks with a cheeky twist, like lollipops shaped like, you guessed it. Finally, something outside of the penis things, which takes us to the Hungry Ghost Festival. So, it's China's spooky season that's less about pumpkin spice and more about feeding your dearly departed so they don't haunt you. If you thought Halloween was a big deal, wait until you hear about this spiritual buffet. Now, the idea behind the Hungry Ghost Festival is simple. Once a year, the gates of the underworld swing wide open, and spirits roam around Earth like it's a paranormal spring break. Except instead of partying in Cancun, they're rummaging through your fridge. And here's where it gets fun. People leave offerings everywhere. Food, incense, even fake money. Because apparently, ghosts need to make it rain in the afterlife. You'll see families burning wads of hell notes, which is like Ghost Venmo, but way cooler. I mean, imagine being a spirit and going, "Thanks for the fake Gucci bag, but where's my ghost Lamborghini?" Picture this, a stage in the middle of town with rows of empty chairs right up front, reserved for the ghosts, of course, because heaven forbid you accidentally steal a seat from Uncle Jong's ghost and spend the rest of your life cursed with bad Wi-Fi. Now let's talk about food. People prepare huge feasts, but there's a catch. It's not for you. Nope, it's for the ghosts. So you're cooking up a storm, drooling over the spread, and then leaving it out like it's a haunted picnic. Number 4 takes us all the way to South Korea, the magical land where your internet is faster than your brain can process, and even your grandma might secretly be moonlighting as a K-pop backup dancer. Seriously, this is a place where buffering is a crime. And if your internet dips below warp speed, it's considered a national emergency. But today, we're not here to talk about Wi-Fi or Korean anti-aging cream. We're diving headfirst into South Korea's messiest tradition, the Boryeong Mud Festival. Think of it as the one time of year where everyone collectively decides to ditch the glowing skin, toss aside the designer threads, and embrace their inner mud monster. This epic festival happens every summer in Boryeong, a coastal town about 2 hours from Seoul. It all started in 1998 as a clever way to promote their mineral-rich mud, which is apparently great for your skin. Think spa day, but instead of sipping cucumber water, you're wrestling strangers in a giant mud pit. And speaking of mud pits, they've got everything here. Mudslides, mud pools, and even mud wrestling. It's like your childhood dreams come true. Except now you can call it cultural exploration. And when you're all muddied out, the festival doesn't stop. There's live music, beach parties, and fireworks at night. You might even make some mud buddies to share embarrassing photos with later. Again, Japan, but guess what? This time we got something different on our plate. Nakazumo Crying Baby Festival, where sumo wrestlers, yes, the guys who could probably throw you over a mountain, compete to make babies cry. That's right, big burly wrestlers holding tiny squishy humans in a sumo ring, while everyone cheers for who can cause the loudest meltdown. It's like the Olympics of parental nightmares. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would anyone celebrate crying babies? According to Japanese tradition, a good cry scares away evil spirits and ensures the babies grow up healthy and strong. So, while you're over here trying to shush your screaming child at 2 a.m., the Japanese are like, bring on the wailing. It's for their own good. The competition is simple. 2 babies, 1 sumo wrestler each. They face off in the ring, and the first baby to cry wins. And if that doesn't work, the wrestlers start yelling, pulling faces, and doing everything short of juggling flaming torches. It's chaotic, it's loud, and honestly, it's hilarious. Imagine the poor babies thinking, I just got dropped into the arms of this giant dude, and now everyone's cheering because I'm upset? Finally, Indonesia. You know Bali, right? That paradise where every influencer finds themselves after 3 overpriced smoothie bowls? Well, once a year, this tropical Instagram dream goes into full-on mute mode. Is like pressing the island's snooze button, but for 24 hours straight. It's not just a day off, it's a total reset. No cars, no electricity, no work, and no Wi-Fi. Yes, you heard me, no TikTok scrolling. It's like Bali collectively says, let's all chill and pretend it's 1703 for a bit. The backstory is even better. Balinese New Year is the time when the spirits are let out, and if everything is completely silent, these spirits will think, oh, nothing going on here, and just float off to bother someone else. It's like the spiritual version of ghosting. But here's where things get wild. Before the silence starts, locals create massive, terrifying monster sculptures and parade them through the streets. It's like a monster movie had a crossover episode with Mardi Gras. But here's the kicker. Even the airport closes. Yup, no flights in or out. Imagine telling that to a Western traveler. In a world that never stops, Nyepi is Bali's way of saying, just chill for once. So, if you ever find yourself there during Nyepi, embrace it. Meditate, reflect, or let's be real, have an existential meltdown because you can't check Instagram. Just don't be that tourist who tries to order a pizza. The spirits and the locals won't be impressed.